Okay, we're back. So now we can do... So now we can do anything we want to, because I won't... We can look at any copyrighted material we want to, because I won't violate copyright by doing... Because I won't get in trouble with YouTube, because I just won't upload this section of the stream. So what do we want to look at? Cheesecake? I love me some delicious, delicious cheesecake. With a little chocolate thrown in. I know what you actually mean, but I'm pretending you're just talking about the cheesecake. Okay. Do you really not know what cheesecake is slang for? Or are you just fooling me? I will not get my mind out of the judder. The judder is where it will stay. Okay. Okay, let's see. I assumed you did. It stands obviously for cake made out of cheese. That's what the slang. Okay, let's see. What should we watch? Let's see. I wonder if they're just gonna ignore the last movie. Yeah. They should. It was pretty bad.
Well, in that case, what's the drinking?
Same for the guide dog.
Dad told me you found some
Oh. Why are they making her talk in an American?
A dial that could change the course of history.
Why are you chasing the thing that drove your father crazy?
Don't move. Please get out. Sorry.
Dr. Jones, get in.
I love Indiana Jones.
Hitler made mistakes, and with this, I will correct them all.
You stole it.
Then you stole it.
And I stole it. It's called capitalism.
There might be some turbulence.
You've taken chances, made no mistakes. And now, the final triumph.
She doesn't know I've seen this. Once by your father. I've been looking for this all my life.
Presumably they're on a long vacation and nobody talks about them anymore. Ugh, that was such a bad movie. Oh, I hated that. I love Indiana Jones. Yes, it is Mads Mikkelsen. I mean, I knew that they were making a new movie. I love Mads Mikkelsen. I love. I really love Indiana Jones. It was also my father's favorite movie series. It was next to Star Wars. Indiana Jones was my father's favorite movie series. My dad loved Star Wars and Indiana Jones particularly intensely. Also Star Trek. Although for some reason he never bothered to get me into it. He really got me into Star Wars and Indiana Jones. But I know he liked Star Trek. Yeah. Yeah, they're just on vacation and we don't talk about them. Especially Shia LaBeouf. Holy shit, did that guy. Yeah. But God, did I love Indiana Jones as a kid. Yeah. Like, can I be honest with you guys about something? Like, the entire reason I got this hat that has been in my, this hat that has been in my, in the background for all this time. Yeah. Reason I have it is because I wanted an Indiana Jones hat. I know it looks stupid, and I know terrible neckbeards ruin this look. But this is like an authentic Stetson. Like, this is a real one. No. Well, what's always so fun, why can't I say words? Frustrating about those, like, kind of, like the neckbeardy types is that, which I look suspiciously like, but I am not, is that they are, what they call fedoras, are actually trilbies, which are smaller. I'm starting to think. What if I did something Indiana Jones like? That'd be fun. I'd have fun doing that. It would fit with my desire to do pulp stories, all set in a similar universe. We need a lost treasure, though. We need a lost treasure, though, so not something... Good. I mean, Callie, if you really... I would suggest maybe Blender. Yeah, but it's always fun to come... Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's just do some... Let's take down some notes. I mean, I'm tempted to go and watch the Indiana Jones movies again. The original 3. Even the kind of racist one that produced one of our most charming new movie stars. But anyways. Okay. Let's write it on a list of everything that Indiana Jones needs to kind of, like an Indiana... Hey! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, new person. It could be. I believe in some of like the extended stuff. Indiana Jones has encountered H.P. Lovecraft. Oh, okay. So, uh, D. We have a few ways we can do that. I have a few ways I can do that. As you can see, I don't. As you can see, there is a viewer reward that you are free to where I look at some of your stuff. If you are interested in and you're free to use that. You're free to use that when you have enough points to use that. And if you're interested in me giving you like full critique feedback, it will. I have. We can talk price. We can. I forget what my actual prices are. I have prices. That is money. It costs money. Thank you. I assume that was a follow. Thank you so much. I forget what my exact prices are, but they're in my website. If you want to look. No, it does not cost that. Sorry, it's not you. It's it's like $2, man. It's like $2, buddy. Anyway, so here's. Let's see what's my actual. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's really not much. Oh boy, I need to update my art. Jeez, oh fuck. Anyways. So, there it is. Let's see. Oh, I'm not typing at all. I'm not sending secret messages. Yeah. So, it used to be people would come here and they would ask for people to read. People would come here and ask to read stuff, for me to read stuff all the time, and I would be fine with it. But they would always like send me all this long stuff, like stuff that was kind of offensive, all this stuff that I was very much not comfortable with reading on stream. So I've unfortunately, Dio, I hate to be mean, I hate to be arbitrary here, but unless you pay or wait, I'm not reading it. It's shitty. A million other people abuse the privilege before you, and I had to take it away. So now I have a pretty strict regulation on when I look at somebody's stuff, and it sucks. But it sucks. But that's what the rules are. And it's $2 for me to look at $2 for me to look at 500 words. I'm sorry, I hate to do it, but listen, if the rules aren't there for everybody, the rules are there for nobody. Like, oh, seriously, like people would like make me read, like send me full books, and then they would yell at me for not reading it properly. I once had to read a guy's full book once, and it's like, holy, that was a nightmare. Like, he wanted me to read his full book, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And then people would get mad at me for not reading it right. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to read it right? Anyways, so Indiana Jones. Let's talk about like some plot elements you need, right? Emmy, I want to read yours. It's just it just takes me forever to get to read. It just takes me forever to get to read things, and I am sorry about that. I listen. You are not the only friend that I have very much disappointed by not looking at their stuff. I will at some point. I will at some point. I'm sorry. It's just, you know. But you know, Emmy, if you want me to look at something, I'll look at something because I know and trust you at this point. But I just don't do it for like, yeah. Yeah, it used to be a whole situation where like every day, like I would have to read like 20 different things from random people, and it was like, yes, you need that. Yeah, like there's all okay, so there's like always magic of some sort underpinning. I mean, one of the things that kind of underpins it is like you know, not to get too full into this as an impossible interpretation, but there's always Christian like, so both of the really good Indiana Jones movies are about hunting Judeo-Christian things. Like, because the first movie is about finding the Ark of the Lost Covenant, and the second movie is about finding the Holy Grail. You know, two things. You know, so it's always sort of a Judeo-Christian thing. So we don't have to do that, but that's usually where where they get their inspiration from most of the time. Yeah, the Shroud of Turin next. I mean, in some ways, I mean, don't we have the Shroud of Turin? Yeah. Like in The Simpsons? But we don't have to do that. But we don't have to do that. By the way. is. Yeah. I mean, some could argue that the first Indiana Jones movie, in some ways, about like turning the Nazis occultism back on themselves in a way by it's quite an interesting movie if you look at it as some way using Jewish mysticism to defeat the Nazis. If you kind of look at it through that like lens, which is something I've always been kind of interested by. Which is why the third movie is weird, because that's why, like, you know, I don't know, it's just something I always think about. Like, okay, ancient magic / technology. So the thing about it is there's no explicit, like, magic creatures kind of in it, but they're always looking for sort of an ancient magic or technology of some sort. Next is the best ones. Usually the Nazis are the villains, which is sort of harder, I believe, in modern day to. Like, okay, so one of the problems with, I think Nazis make great villains, by the way. Like, I think they're perfect villains, because it's like, who can you think of, like, the worst jackasses in the world who, like, it's perfectly okay for the hero to, like, injure? A fucking member of the Nazi party. Like, it's pretty, you look at a guy in, like, a Nazi uniform and, like, yeah, you're an asshole. The problem is, like, one thing I've read about, like, how, like, modern fascism works nowadays is, like, this is what I'm talking. I was getting into this. See, part of the problem is, a lot of, like, Nazis are really into the idea of, like, a lot of, like, neo-Nazis are really into the idea of, like, the Nazis now being, like, a supernaturally evil force. They think that's really cool. Like, that's one of the things I've been reading about, is they actually the Nazis actually think it's really cool that they're, like, displayed as, like, this all-powerful evil force. And that's, like, you know, and so it's, like, it's a thing that's, like, I think it's perfectly, I think it's kind of fun to, like, have Nazis be, like what, Wolfenstein and stuff like that, but... And, like, so you're the cool hero, like, anyways, it's perfect. I think it's perfectly okay to make Nazis the villain of your thing. But, Nazis turn out to kind of like that, because they're giant shitheads who think stuff like that is cool. So, it, like, we'll like it when, like, the evil guy does evil thing. So, you know, I hate to be... And that creates its own problem. Like, the USSR did a whole bunch of really bad shit. Like, especially under Stalin, like, the USSR did a whole bunch of, like, really evil bad shit. So, like, I have no problem with calling Stalin a huge, horrible monster of a person. Like, unless you are a particularly, like, dedicated communist, who is blind, who seemingly is blind to all the bad things that Stalin did, who wants to blatantly ignore all of Stalin's atrocities. You know, I don't think there's a problem with making the USSR the villains. I don't know. But then it gets into it, like, are you making a political... Like, see, I overthink this stuff too much. I know. But you need, like, kind of a historical villain. You need sort of a historical villain group. It's why, like, say, Marvel doesn't like to have Captain America now punch out Nazis, but like punch out Hydra, because like it became like they were worried about they're worried about yeah, Paladins were cool. Well, like I would think the best thing to do is like pick somebody who was kind of yeah. I think the best thing to do is pick somebody who is more on the fringes. Like obviously like a shitty person, but like somebody on the fringes enough that it doesn't matter. Like somebody so apolitical, like you don't give a shit. Like you wouldn't really give a shit if they were made the villain. Like maybe somebody like Ceausescu or somebody. You know. Like, do you guys know who Nicolae Ceausescu is? Dictator of Romania, communist dictator of Romania. Not a good dude. A real shitty like loser of a dude. Did a lot of shitty, terrible things to his own people. He intentionally. Oh, this is dark. Intentionally giving orphans AIDS. Yeah, that's just the thing he did. I think North Korea is overrated as a villain. I personally, I don't think I don't know. Let's see. I mean, we could make Putin the... Yeah. I don't know. See, this is the problem with me, like, being really into history and stuff. Like, I know all of their shit. The problem is I know everybody's shit. Like, I've studied... Like, North Korea was a subject I was quite fascinated for a long time with, so I know, like, how North Korea works. And, like, they're, I don't know, they're lame in a lot of ways. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, you know, our Indiana Jones, like, character, you know, could, I don't know. He's, like, 5'4", fighting a starving North Korean soldier who, like, just desperately wants to escape. I don't know. It's, like, not something. It's fun. In my mind. It's hard to find a real life group of people that you can be. Vladimir Putin, like. Yeah. Well, that would be like Anonymous. I don't want to piss off Anonymous. I'll think of somebody. So we need a historical villain of some sort. I'll think of somebody. I'm leaning towards Romania, by the way. I'm leaning towards like Ceausescu, somebody like Ceausescu or something. Who was a horrible asshole who I don't think anybody would mind me bad-mouthing. I mean, I fuck Stalin, you know, who cares? Who cares about Stalin, right? The Russians would certainly be mad, but who gives a shit? Okay. Next, we need famous historical landmarks of some sort. Every good Indiana Jones movie and Indiana Jones ripoff movie all have like have like epic scenes taking place in like famous historical landmarks. Like Temple of Doom takes place. It needs to be some famous historical landmarks. By the way, I'm thinking of would Excalibur be too lame of a thing to search for? Ooh, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon would be fun. Yeah, I was thinking that. I mean, that would be kind of cool, right? I mean, I probably won't figure out any of this stuff today. Like, who's a dictator that nobody gives a shit about anymore? Dictator. Yeah. Like, oh, Leopold II. Oh, that guy's a fucking socio. Yeah, Leopold II would be a good one. Do people know who Leopold II is? Kind of the Hitler of the, in many ways, he was sort of the Hitler of like the early 19th century, 18th. He was alive. He was alive when Mark Twain was alive. Pol Pot, yeah. Yeah, 1865 to 1909. Holy shit! Yeah, I always forget how crazy his kill count is. Yeah, about 10 million people. So Leopold II ruled. It's hard to get into what exactly he did, but he personally controlled the Congo Free State, and yeah. Needless to say, his rule was not that kind. Yeah. Yeah, Petra. Yes. That's where they filmed. I knew it was in Jordan. I just forgot what it was called. Yeah, they filmed here. Like, ideally, it should be like 2 or 3 World Heritage sites that you need. What else do we need? I mean, let's see. I mean, I definitely should just rewatch the Indiana Jones movies. The, the leftover remnants of imperialism. I was just thinking, like, if you could just pick somebody who was like nobody cared about anymore, that like nobody had any desire to return, that would be perfect. Anyways, I won't think of any. Like, oh, I know exactly who to make the assholes. I know. It just occurred to me the perfect people to make the shitheads. There is a group of people that nobody would give a shit about. Like literally nobody would give a shit about. Like they're straight up villains, and only like the shittiest of shittiest people would get mad at me. I present to you the official shitheads of the world that are one of the few states nobody but the worst Nazis would care about making fun of. The Rhodesians. Not modern day Zimbabwe, I must counter, but Rhodesia. Rhodesia was part of the British Empire. Was part of the British is nowadays modern day Zimbabwe. And by the way, Rhodesia was never officially recognized. But Rhodesia was a part of the British Empire, and it was a terribly, horribly racist country. Horribly racist country to the point, and the white controlled the 3% white population of Rhodesia, it had extreme racial segregation, and they were the only people allowed to vote in Rhodesia. So anyways, there was a huge separation. They attempted to separate themselves from the English Empire without authorization, and usually that people would support that, but the Rhodesians were so shitty and awful and super racist that literally nobody supported their independence movement because they wanted to keep the extreme apartheid of Rhodesia. I'm like literally, of course, modern neo-Nazis are obsessed with Rhodesia, and including like say Dylan Rolfe, the guy that the mass shooter in Georgia. Called himself the last Rhodesian. Like, they're obsessed with Rhodesia. But, fuck them, right? Perfect villains. I'm going to throw this out there to anybody in the 80s. Anybody writing a story about want to have a country to be the obvious villain. Rhodesia is a pretty good pick. Even the people living there now would be very happy with Rhodesian, like Rhodesian loyalists being like picked off. I think I don't think anybody's gonna have too much sympathy. I'm pretty good. I have a pretty good baseline knowledge of Greek mythology. I don't have like say all the nymphs memorized, but there's like 300 of those. But I have a pretty good baseline. One thing that... Have I not noticed? Am I missing something? Oh, have I missed something? Is that a Greek god? You were cleverer than me. Yeah, I didn't know this. The Dolonais were people living on the coast of visited by the Argonauts. They're also a group. They're also a people. Well, Dionysus. Oh, I didn't know that's spelling for Dionysus. I mean, I know who Dionysus is. Dionysus is one of my favorites. Because I was gonna. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't know that. Are you claiming that you are? Yeah, I'm kidding. One thing I always found interesting about Greek mythology is that roughly, like, so much of the mythology can roughly be. It's kind of weird. Yeah. It's kind of weird. If you look into Greek mythology a lot, you'll find quickly that crafty, deceitful, and treacherous, deriving from the Greek verb doleino, to lure, deceive, or to use deceit. Are you doing that? It is. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was thinking of a few others that could work. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Like, I know all the big ones. I know what's really interesting is if you study Greek mythos, you quickly realize that a lot of almost like a good 90% of the myths are all connected, which is kind of fun. Because which is kind of a weird fun thing in that, like, yeah, it's neat, like, because if you really study, so Greek myths are primarily about two major wars that happen, the and the repercussions of them. The first is the fall of Minoan Greece, the conquering of Minos by Athens, and the second is the Trojan War. And once you understand that, a lot of the stuff starts to fit really well together, because they're all like a good, like, 70% of the real famous stuff is all about that in some way or another. Which I always found really fascinating, and I've always wondered why people don't, like, attack it from that idea. Of, like, we're in the interconnected universe phase. Why don't we do that? Because it's like because there's like two eras of Greek heroes. Because, like, a lot of a lot of Greek tragedies are in some way about the fall of Troy, and what happens to Troy afterwards. And like you can even like and like the Romans even like connected themselves to the Trojans by claiming that they were Trojans. Heck, even the Norse claimed that they were Trojans, which was weird, but you know. Anyways, so the Rhodesians I think would be a perfect group of bad guys. Another pretty good group of bad guys. I don't know. There's also a little part of me that doesn't want to do Russia or Germany just because like everybody's done Russia or Germany, and I would like to pick somebody, groups of people, group of people that we can hit. No, but like people, like lesser known bad guys, like maybe. Thinking about it, the Greek dictatorship would also be the reign of the three colonel, like the three colonels would also be a pretty good shitty dudes. Anyways, not that I want to go out and search for people to hate, but there's some shitty people out there. I don't think anybody would be upset with me like being really mean to Rhodesia. Not Zimbabwe. I must be very clear. Not Zimbabwe. Rhodesia. On the other hand, I don't think there would be anybody like I don't think even the Greeks would be all that mad for me going like, yeah, the three colonels were kind of shitheads, weren't they? If you don't know, the three colonels were a dictate. The rule it Greece was under dictatorship for a while, and it was called the rule of the three colonels. Who were shitty, terrible people. Who the junta. Who nowadays. Well, I mean, yeah, the Crusades could work, but I think the Crusades are okay. Okay, getting back to Indiana Jones stuff. The why the Crusades probably won't work is because that's just too far in the past. And I gotta go to the bathroom. Be back. Night, Emmy. I got a bowl of cereal. I'm gonna have cereal. I thought when I went downstairs, I had like 20 ideas suddenly. Like great assholes, the Contras, CIA, Scientology, tons of shitty people acting and historical people acting shitty in the past that I could use. The Moonies. Well, I'll probably call it today. See you guys tomorrow. I'm getting back into the swing of things.